Hey there, I'm Carol Rhineley, and welcome to Unimaginable Futures 2.0. Yay! I am so excited to start this journey with you over the next 12 weeks. And what we're going to do, because I've gotten a lot of input from different people in the class, that they wanted to have the flexibility to start this class at any time and watch it at any time. So, and not have to actually get on it at a certain time or whatever. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to do the class and send it out every week on a Monday, and you'll get an email with that link and just go through the class, and then we'll have pop-up little Q&As as we go along, and you're welcome to email me at carol@carolrhineley.com if you have any questions also. Because sometimes as we're going through learning this stuff, there are energies that get brought up that we would like to clear, and so that's why we'll have the Q&As and all that stuff. And I'm here for you if you have any questions at all. So just reach out at carol@carolrhineley.com, and me and my team, or a member of my team, will get back with you. So as we launch in today, what we're going to be talking about is following the energies of everything. Now, what does that mean for you? We've kind of been taught to go with what everybody else has done, go back to a frame of reference of what they would call causal reality. And that can actually send us down a rabbit hole. And we also go to the why and all those other things that can also send us down a rabbit hole. So we're going to look at life a little bit differently. I'm going to give you some tools to play with all of this. And then you'll be able to go out in the world and kind of test them out and see what works for you. At the end of the day, what I would like you to do is do what works for you. I'm going to be sharing tools that have worked for many people. Some of them may work for you. Some of them may work for you better than others. Again, this is where we're going to be expanding on our awareness of what will work in your life, because I'm just sharing from a aspect of doing this type of work pretty much my whole life and doing a deep dive. I started doing a deep dive on all of it probably about 15 years ago. I've done access consciousness work, I've done Reiki work, I've done energy healing work, I've done coaching work. I do have a marketing business. I've done coaching with that type of work as far as expanding on businesses and people expanding their lives. Basically, I feel like I'm here to help you expand into whatever your greater possibilities are. So as we dive into these 12 weeks, know that there might be times where you're pissed off at me. There might be times that energies get kicked up where you get a little pissy. Don't stay in that space. I'm going to give you tools to clear it right away. And that's simply that we're going to have the awareness. We're going to be expanding on our awareness. And when you live your life and your business from a place of following energies, it's completely different than all the things we've been trained in and ingrained in this reality. So if you're willing to, I'm guessing because you're here, you are willing to play, which would be a fun time. And also, are you willing to just allow yourself to go to those places, pull up those energies that really aren't working for you, and then notice them and clear them? You don't have to stay in them. We've kind of been in a place where we feel like it's like you just go to be kind of pissing on the pot, so to speak. So anyway, I don't know what happened to my recording here. Seems to be stuck. Okay. Let's see when it comes back on here. Hello. There we go. Sorry, we got a little bit of a freeze time there. And as I'm delving into a lot of this, we might have some technical difficulties. Sometimes that shows up. Sometimes energies out there in the universe aren't wanting us to be aware. It's not to be scared of that, because at the end of the day, we're the most powerful thing based on everything. But what I want you to do is, when you follow the energy and you follow your awareness, and it'll get sharper and sharper as you go along, are you willing to just play wherever you are? One. And then two, are you willing to be open to some tools that can clear any energies that aren't a contribution to you? And are you willing to throw your brain out, so to speak? um, and just when you're following the energy, there's actually an ease to it, and things can show up so much quicker and easeful if you are willing to just lean into that. And it's kind of goes against everything that you've ever been told in this reality. So I'll tell you what, are you willing to just do a 180 pretty much, or if you kind of reverse everything that you've been told in this reality? Because has everything that you've been told in this reality actually come to fruition for you? I know it hasn't for me. Like, it's been the opposite. And like looking at whatever, and so I see businesses all the time looking at whatever, or people out in their life looking at what everybody else is doing. Okay. And then they're trying to model what everybody else is doing. But at the end of the day, you have a beautiful, unique brilliance that is amazing. And unlike everyone else, we're not here to be like everybody else. That would be pretty darn boring, actually, if you ask me. Um, so are you willing to go beyond the boring of this reality? Are you willing to go beyond the comfort of this reality? Are you willing to go beyond the structure of this reality to actually create your own reality that's beyond anything that you could ever fathom? And that's why we call the class Unimaginable Futures, because there's lots of unimaginable possibilities that you haven't even fathomed yet. And once you see these and see and play with these tools, stuff will start to show up and you're like, wow, this is actually kind of the opposite of what I've been told. Like, that I got to roll a boulder hill, up a hill. I've got to have all these steps. I've got to have my to-do list. I've got to run around in circles. I've got to look around and see what everybody else is doing. And I'm here to tell you, throw that stuff out. Now, I might say some words in the class, and if you're one who gets offended easily, then this class might not be for you, and just contact me and we'll ask you out and don't ever come back. Okay? I'm fine with that. I want to be the biggest contribution to you right here, right now. And sometimes that means words coming through me, and there might not be an effective alternative for that word, so to speak. So while I don't usually use those words a lot in regular life, sometimes they do come out in the class setting, and it's simply to pull up energies for you so that we can clear them. And if you get to a place where you're like, reach out on email. You probably have my text as well. Reach out and don't let yourself stay in that space. Because it could just be a 5-minute phone call or a 5-minute text, and I give you, additional tool or something for you, and you're able to go on and just use what works for you. So anyway, are you ready to get started on Imaginable Futures 2.0? So last time, and if you haven't watched the 2 intro videos, please go back and watch those, okay, before you go any further here. Those are going to be important to have a framework for you to start. Because what I did is I asked you to start to be in the question, to start to think about everything you've been told in this reality and reverse that out, kind of do a 180 on it, and look at things from different spaces. And the challenge I'm going to give you this week will be, on the intro videos, I had you go through and ask yourself what are the energies that you would like your life to be. And the reason why I asked you to do that, in Access Consciousness, Gary Douglas, who's the founder, had asked himself that question. And he realized from that question, he started to play with the energies that he would like his life to be. Not specifics, because sometimes if we're a little bit too specific and we have a point of view about something, it's going to actually push it the opposite way rather than coming towards us. Because the only reason why you might not have what you've been asking for in this reality is polarity or a point of view. You're either defending for or against it, you're righteous for or against it. you're pushing for or against whatever that is, and you don't realize it. And that's where we have these sneaky little things in our lives where it's kind of like, well, I've been doing everything that everybody's told me to do. And I go to manifesting, which I had a great conversation with manifesting to somebody today, and I realized manifesting has actually kind of been bastardized a bit in this reality. Um, so let's kind of throw out that word and let's come up with an energy of a word that works for you. For me, it's kind of create, because I'm a creator. I've always been a creator. I've always been reading, 10 books all at the same time, taking different classes, learning different things, just because I see it all as not a separate thing or a definition of me. It's actually just all an enhancement and a set of tools for me. So I'm a hypnotherapist, I'm an NLP practitioner, I do sessions with people about things to help them shift things quickly. I also do energy healing. And again, I've had a marketing company now for almost 30 years. So I do a lot of that different work. And I don't, at first I would try to go with what people were telling me, that I had to pick one thing. And I realized like it all jazzes me and lights me up. And I don't go to it from a place of trying to do it all at once. So one, are you willing to play in the place of possibility with hear me today? And then also, are you willing to be open to tools that you can use and play with them and see which ones you work for you best? And then go back to those first two videos if you haven't seen them, and get clear on what are the energies that you would like your life to be. And there's a little handout there that has some words to play with. You can also just kind of go online and play with the synonyms and different aspects and definitions of words and see. It sounds so simple, but at the end of the day, everybody I've coached and worked with always come back to me and say, wow, Carol, this stuff is actually is simple. Like an ease shows up, and that was my word, and playful showed up, and that was my word, and orgasmic showed up, and that was my word. And so we're just going to start in a simplicity that you probably haven't been guided to go to before. And I do promise it is going, while we're going to be kicking up a lot of energies and clearing them, because I'm going to be clearing like energetically for each one of these videos. As you watch them, there'll be a clearing energy there that just by signing on to this class, you're willing to have those energies cleared out of your life for yourself. Now, if anything gets kicked up and it kind of sends you into a little bit more of a frenzy, again, reach out. So once you are clear on the energies you would like your life to be, then we would move on to, let's look at points of view today, okay? So again, like I said, any reason why you wouldn't have what you've asked for in life is based on a point of view and or polarity. And where do we get those points of view? Well, they're kind of entrained and ingrained in us over this lifetime. We kind of come to realizations and points of view as we go through our lives. And then we kind of get comfortable with that point of view. And a lot of times we're not willing to look any further, like beyond what that is. So as you start to become aware of what the energies of your life, you would like your life to be, those things will start to show up to kind of show you. And what I ask you to do is kind of put those in a place that you can see them every day so that you can get clearer and clearer and clearer about what those are. Now, they might change over the time that we're going in the next 12 weeks and then beyond that, because I'm still working with some people who had taken the last class, and we've adjusted those words as we've gone along. So know that it's not set in stone. As you clear more energies and kind of grab onto more tools that work for you, that you see work for you in an easeful way in your life, those things might change, like what you thought. And also a lot of times what people think they want and what they actually want might be completely different, because we're pulling more from the everyone else's energy around us. Like 90% of our thoughts, feeling, or probably more like 98% of our thoughts, feelings, reactions, all that stuff come from everything around us. So, are you ready? And this class is going to really have you be playing in, as you get clear of what the energies you would like your life to be, you'll kind of see the opposite going on outside of you sometimes. And it's simply that is coming up so that you can see those places and spaces that are kind of sneaky in your life that are causing that stuff not to come to you. The other part of it is it'll help you catch points of view, whether it's yours, and I like to ask, is this mine, someone else's, or something else's? I think I got that from Jane Fox, who's amazing, by the way. But is it mine, someone else's, or something else's? Now, you might be going, Carol, what are you talking about? Why would it be someone else's or something else's? Well, there's a lot of energies out there, and if we're energy beings, and a lot of us are very intuitive and pick up on people's thoughts, feelings, reactions, like it might not be ours. You might go into a space where you're kind of feeling something and it's not yours. So what I like to say is a return to sender with consciousness attached. And that's not being mean. We don't know where it originated. Might not be in this lifetime, might not be in this time frame. So return to sender is always a contribution to everyone because, again, we don't know where that came from. So as we start to become aware of points of view, fixed and otherwise, you can actually, like, you'll get, and that's where reading the energy is so brilliant and beautiful. We came in as that, like we read energy. We read that our mom might be happy or sad or frustrated or whatever. We picked up on all that stuff around us. Though we weren't given a method of communication to really have it work to our advantage in this lifetime. And so can I ask you, are you willing to let everything work to your natural local advantage? And I say local because just where we are right here, right now. Are you willing to let anything work to your natural local advantage? And anything that doesn't allow that, let's just clear. So you'll see me flailing my hand. Sometimes I move energy with that. Or a lot of times I'll just catch an energy and clear it because it really can be that simple. And so as you start reading energies, so read the energy of the room that you're in right now. And does it embody your energy, a mixture of energies? And your body and your being, you usually kind of get a read on all that. And you're receiving an energy and information in that energy as you ask that question. So tap into the energy of the room that you're in. Yeah, right now, for me, like it feels really calm, exciting. And then a car just drove by and I felt like a heavy energy from that car. That guy just coming home from work and feeling just exhausted, I guess. So you'll have more of an ability to read the energies of everything around you once you go through this class. And that is going to be an immense contribution. So daily, I want you to tap into your energy right now. And if you have your list of words that you would like, the energies of what you would like your life to be, pull them out and let's play with them a little bit right here, right now. And if you don't have that yet, just, pause this video, go do it, and then come back. Because it's going to be great. So mine that I've been playing with are brilliance, ease, playful, receive, and elegance. Now, while those are words, they're actually energy. So get the energy of brilliance. Is that expansive in your body? Can you feel that? And then at the end of the day, you might not feel it in the beginning, and as we go further and further into this, you'll eventually kind of feel it, depending on what your frame of reference with that is. But just feel that in your body, brilliance. And feel it in your being. Because at the end of the day, we have a being and we have a body. We have a being using this body in this lifetime. And then when we die, that being moves on and the body disintegrates. That's the way of nature. We see trees kind of die off in the wintertime, leaves fall off, and then spring comes and new leaves come in. It's just the nature of this universe. So it's actually kind of a really beautiful thing, that can be an actual celebration. My father died a couple years ago, and it was a long road of struggle leading up to his death. And although it was sad to not have him here in body, I was excited for whatever was next for him, because that's what he was moving on to. It can be an amazing thing. So, and also we look at the endings of stuff as being very dramatic, and actually that's the natural cycle of things. And we can have stuff come in a whole different energy if we're just willing to keep stepping, not look for a frame of reference around any of it, and just go to the beauty of everything. So there's a beauty and a brilliance to you that is unlike any other. There's a beauty and brilliance to all things that we go through and walk through in our life that is like no other. And what if we could just be in this 10 seconds? And how amazing could that be? So be here right now in those 10 seconds, tapping into the word brilliance. The truth is, our life actually one of words or one of energies? Now that's got a lot more expansiveness on it. So if we're living in a world of energies, do we just know things? Yeah. Sometimes we just know. Sometimes we just have that gut knowing and that heart knowing. So I'm also probably going to be doing things in the class where I have you just receive that energy. And a lot of times I'll put my hand on my heart. So just receive. So just receive brilliance. The energy of brilliance. What does that all bring up in your being and your body? And my second word is ease. And you can go through and do this for your words as well. Ease. Because I notice that when I'm in a space of play and fun and not having a point of view about something, stuff just comes in with ease. Money, people, experiences, opportunities, all that, when I don't have a point of view about it. So we're actually now in a time where we are coming out of some energetic constriction. A lot has come to light about the corruption and just things going on behind the scenes, how this reality works. And do we have to buy that as ours or true? No. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and break the law because that would not be good. But what I'm saying is, you don't have to buy everything as true in this reality for you. You don't have to buy the way that everybody else does it, because there's an energy that, like, is that still even working for that person? a lot of times there's, because I've taken class after class after class, and it's kind of in my other business to kind of see what everybody's doing and kind of test what they're doing and put it out there in the world. And um, I kind of get like it might have worked for them over here, but it might not be working for them anymore. But it's a place to start for you. And you could tap into like any energy of something that you were looking at taking or something that you were looking at doing and say, hey, does this work for me? This will work for me. And what could this create for me if I did this? I used to say, what would my life be like in 5 years if I did this? What would my life be like in 10 years if I chose this? And we can get a certain energy on that. So rather than coming at life from constriction, which is what we've been taught, and comfort, which is what we've been taught, so tap into the energy of comfort. Is there an expansiveness to that? A distraction in that? I mean, we've always been told we want to be comfortable and safe, right? But is safe, comfortable, like you kind of have a knowing of what is safe for you. But let me just say, so in energies, there's synthetic energies and there's authentic energies. The authentic energy of you can be interfered with synthetic energies that are out there with other people and then other things. But when you're always coming from your own personal power, that can't be messed with. So when you might have something that's messing with you, or like I said, you might ask for brilliance and the opposite shows up. You got all these dumb drivers and what you would say is dumb, what is really dumb anyway. But like the opposite might be being shown to you. And it's like, oh, okay. So where am I not willing to really step into my full brilliance? And that's a question you can use for any of your words. Where am I not willing to step into my full, whatever that is, brilliance, ease, playful, receive? Those things will show up, and they're not showing up to torture you. They're not showing up to make you doubt yourself, because at the end of the day, you are the most powerful thing. And I want you to remember that. So I'm going to say it again. No matter what is going on, you are the most powerful thing. And there's nothing outside of you that's going to give you what you're asking for. It's just a simple aligning of energies. Okay? Because like Einstein said, if everything's energy, then you might just be just the slightest energy shift away from anything that you are asking for. And again, I'm just going to say it again because I get that I need to say it again. The only reason why the thing that you've been asking for is not showing up is one, it might not be clear. Two, it might be that you have a point of view or a polarity. You're pushing for or against, you're defending for or against, you're righteous for or against it. Polarity. And that's what we'll kick out for you in this class. So we're going to go deep. We're going to do a deep dive. We're going to look at all those things that might not be working in your favor. And we're going to kick that energy out. Are we good with that? Cool. All right. So when you sense an energy, or you might wake up one morning, like say after this class, we're clearing a lot, we're picking up a lot, just by talking about all this. Say you wake up tomorrow morning and you feel like you got an elephant on your head. How fun is that, right? So is this mine? Someone else's or something else's? Oh, not mine. Cool. Clear. Or I like to incinerate it. I like to act like I'm bringing out like an energetic blowtorch and just blowing that stuff out of my field. So anywhere where I'm not willing to be brilliant today and every day, clear. Now, does that mean it's going to clear it forever and a day? No, it might come back in other contexts of showing you other things, but most likely you can also receive it as completely cleared. That's up to you. You can always bring it back in and play with it and say, oh, now I see this other thing over here to the left that I didn't see before. So know that everything is a contribution to you. And everything, and this is where I want you to know that everything can be a contribution to your awareness. So as you go out into the world, it's kind of like, oh, do I need to engage with that? No. Do I need to call this person back? No. And there's no, what if I didn't have it? So any points of view that this is pulling up for you about anything right now, clear or incinerate. Incinerate energetically. There we go. And any points of view. So if you're asking, say you're asking for $10,000, and you've been asking for $10,000 for a long time. Are you putting specifics on it that kind of have a point of view around it? Like, I would like to win the lotto, $10,000 lotto. I would like to win the, I would like it to come a certain way. You know, maybe I would inherit it. Maybe I would make it by doing this business over here. Well, when you start quantifying things, you find that it kind of is a heavier energy to create in. Like, I'm going to make $10,000 by contacting 100 people this week, and I'm going to do this, 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 and this. Like, well, a little bit of point of view there. Whereas it's like, oh, you never show me magic with money this week. And show me how many different ways and how many different ways could that be coming my way. And how much fun could I have with it, and how playful could I have with it, and let's clear everywhere I'm not willing to receive it. Cool. See the difference in the energy there? And even if you don't, I'm just asking you to play with this. Because what I find is, like, people think, oh, wow, this is so simple. And this, I know this stuff works because I've done this stuff for a long, long time. And I've looked at all of this from so many different layers and levels and sides and etc. that it's like, wow. When you get that you are always the most powerful thing, and there's no reason to ever make yourself wrong, and you'll start catching yourself doing that. And you'll realize, hey, that's a point of view that is keeping what I'm asking for coming in. Whether it's finding love, whether it's growing your business, whether it's losing weight, whether it's receiving more money, or travel, or fun, or whatever it is that you would like to do, whatever your words are. And the reason why I asked you to keep your words and energies about 5 to 7, most likely around 5, is because they're going to change out as you go along, even in this 12 weeks probably. And if you have too many of them, a confused mind doesn't move forward, so to speak. I forgot who said that. It might have been Jim Rohn or somebody. He's one of my favorites. But if confused mind doesn't move forward, and I want a simplicity of energies showing up in your life that show you the greater possibilities. And it's never going to show up the way you think, which is actually kind of magical and fun and playful if you think about it. So what do you think? So as you're out and about in the world and actually going to work or doing whatever you do in your daily life, you'll find that you'll start to tap into energies, and you'll tap into energies of other people and then realize it's their energy and not yours, and not have to take it on. Because there's some of us, okay, so let me just clear that. So any and all of you that have an autoresponder, crushed autoresponder, or any other like binding or boundings where it ties you to always processing everyone else around you, including you. And sometimes you don't even include you. Would you like to give that up now? And let's just incinerate that. I wish I had a little, I guess I can't really do that in my house, but energetically I like to do the little, so let's clear that out and sense the difference in that energy there. And so as you're out and about in the world, you'll start to catch yourself and you'll start to catch others, and you'll start to catch where others might try to pull you into their point of view. And when you get more and more energetically aware, that'll stop happening, and you won't take their stuff on, and you won't buy their point of view as real. And it's always just interesting point of view. They have that point of view. Interesting point of view. I'll have that point of view. Everything is always just an interesting point of view. And if I were living life from no point of view at all, what could I choose? Could I create? What could show up that's even greater than I could have ever expected? And that's where we can start to be in the question and be the question and ask the question. And we're not asking the question from the space of needing an answer. We're asking the question from the space of possibility. Oh, what else is possible now? And then what comes in is an energy that's kind of reading in your body and your being. And just sit with that for a second. What else is possible now? And you can say it to yourself and say it as many times during the day as you would like. And your body kind of receives an energy, does it not? Huh. And if your body is receiving energetic information, it doesn't always necessarily go to words. Sometimes it's words. Sometimes it's just an energy that we receive, and it's like, ooh, feels kind of exciting. Or it feels like I'm receiving something, but I don't really know what that is yet. I still do that. And I've done this for a very long time. So it's just a matter of playing with your receiving, throwing out those points of view and playing with your receiving and what that could create. So receive in your body the energy of brilliance. And how many ways could brilliance show up in my life today? The universe, I talk to the universe all the time. So you can speak, the universe, they say, has our back. There's still kind of some interference sometimes. So if you find that pop up, just ask the question when we have a Q&A or email me, because it does happen. Not a whole lot of energetic people talk about it, but there is energetic interference out there. And this is where learning to read energies, read your own energy, read everything out in the world's energy, you'll get more adept at knowing when energies that are not you show up. That's why we're going to kind of do a deep dive with all that. Because out in the world, there's so many different energies. But get the energy of you, the natural, local, authentic energy of you. Do you feel that? And if somebody else is in your house, get the natural, authentic energy of them. Wow. For me, it just went like, and chances are your energy might be much more expansive than those around you. That's just kind of a given sometimes with those of us who are seeking awareness and consciousness and all those good things. There's a large percentage of our population that is not seeking that. Don't let that stop you. You're in probably the 10, might be 12% at this point of the population that's choosing more. choosing greater. And greater kind of has a connotation too. There's a lot of points of view that can go around greater. So whatever that is, clear. And you don't have to use the word greater if it doesn't read for you. We're going to be, once we kind of start playing with reading energies, getting used to what our words and energies are, getting used to what our natural energy is, and then starting to play with reading the energies of those around us, then we're going to be kind of getting more and more narrowing in on like where we're coming from. We just have to start kind of out here to go further in here and go to targets for ourselves. And get real clear on a little bit deeper level of that for ourselves so that it can come right in. And the energies that we're in right now with all the energetic changes, that I know you've probably heard that with all the moons and the shifts and the eclipses and all that other stuff. I don't necessarily follow all that stuff. Sometimes I'll read the information about it because I'm coming from a place of, if we're more powerful than everything, yes, that can affect us, but we can also shift whatever and any and all of that. But there's a part of that that comes from the earth, Mother Earth, that is just expanding on us. And that's actually the reason why a lot of us are here right now, because we've got connections with the earth and we're helping to shift the earth for the greater good, because sweet man hasn't taken, and woman, and woman haven't taken that great care of Earth. They haven't looked at the longevity of Earth, and they're kind of have points of view about all the seasons of the Earth. And so right now we've got a lot of fires that are going on and other big Earth shifts and changes, and we're only going to see more and more this year because the Earth is correcting itself. And it's actually not about the Earth still being here. The Earth is probably going to be here long after we've gone. It's just a matter of, are we going to make ourselves extinct by the way that we're living? We get an answer to that. Are we going to make ourselves extinct by the way that we're living? We have to be in a more conscious space. We have to be in a more conscious space about all the energies around us. We have to be in a more conscious space with our choices in our everyday life. You know, we've got trash on our seas. We've got, just major things going on that we created as man. I mean, we personally might not have created it, but we were a part of it. So just you choosing this class, I want to congratulate you and acknowledge you that just by choosing this class and willing to be aware of energies of you and the potential and power of you, and then everything that we can shift and change and be a contribution to in a good way rather than tossing trash at it. Hey, we've been tossing trash at ourselves for our whole life. We are sometimes some of the worst perpetrators on ourselves. We beat ourselves up. Why didn't that happen? Why am I not looking like everybody else? Why am I not doing this like everybody else? I must be wrong. So are you willing to give up being wrong about anything? Are you? Really? Okay. Clear. Let's toss that out of the table. It took me a long time to give that one up. So I applaud those of you who did decide to give that up. And if you haven't decided to give that up yet, don't make yourself wrong for that. Okay? Again, there is no reason to ever make yourself wrong about anything. And you'll get that in your own due time. I mean, it took me years to give that one up because I used to always be the problem solver. So let's talk about that. Are you willing to just be your own energy and not be the problem solver for everything else, which is similar to what we cleared earlier, but I get that there's also an additional energy to that. So you're willing to give up problem solver. A across all reality. So whatever that is, I revoke, recant, rescind, renounce, destroy, and uncreate, make null and void. Let it go, body, let it go, let it go, let it go. Not you, not yours. And I might say some words like this just to kind of clear those energies in a different way. We might have had agreements and other different, depending on what you believe, we might have agreements in other lifetimes or other spaces that coming into this lifetime did not work. It might have been reversed on us a little bit. How much have we been promised to come into this lifetime? If you do this, this, and this, then we'll give you this. And did we get any of it? No, probably not. So I'm going to go back to, let's look at our points of view and play with, oh, interesting point of view that I have that point of view. Interesting point of view that they have their point of view, because how many people around us have all kinds of points of view and they want to stick us with it, right? And they're not doing it on purpose. I mean, some people might be, but most people just are a little bit asleep with it. They just think, oh, I'm living my life this way, therefore everybody else must, I must share this. Let's have everybody be married. Let's have everybody do this. Let's have everybody do that. And it's really about you just asking the question just simply for you. Not taking on anybody else's energy or point of view or the energies that they're living in their life on. Because those will stick you. And if you look at them and push against them, they will stick you. Like, oh, I don't want to be like Sally over here. Well, however Sally's being, now you're stuck with it because you're pushing against it. So whether you're aligning for or against, defending for or against, or righteous for or against, we have a lot of folks that are in religion, and I think that's great. But some of the people use it for being righteous. And is that just a point of view? And is that pushing against everybody else? So what if you didn't have a point of view about it? What if you didn't have a point of view about anything? Because the more you can stay in that space of you, that's why I have you focusing on these words and energies, the more you can be the space of possibility. And then any points of view that come up, just clear. Because they'll show themselves to you as you play more in this and dive deeper into more possibilities for yourself. Those little sneaky boogers will come up. Like, oh, I didn't realize I was doing point of view there. Wow, okay, cool, clear. I don't have to take that on anymore. I don't have to make myself wrong that I did do that, because we're constantly evolving, we're constantly changing. Give yourself a break. Anywhere where you're trying to be perfect at all this, clear. Because I'm not perfect in anything, and I'm fine with not being perfect in anything. I tried to be perfect. I tried to have the visual of perfect in my life all this time, and I gave that up for Lent and every other place. I joke about that, but yeah, I just gave it up finally. I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be right. I don't have to be wrong. I don't have to be anything other than the energies that I would like my life to be. And that's still evolving for me, and it'll evolve for you as you go along. So if one of my energies is brilliance, does that mean I'm going to be brilliant every day? Well, it will expand the possibility of that, but I might not choose it every day, because I'm choosing every second of every day. And I'm allowing, because I'm choosing and not going to my brain about what I need to choose. So that was the other thing. Let's throw that brain out. We've been taught that the brain needs to figure it out and go to the why and all that stuff. And you could spend thousands of dollars in therapy and everything in the why, and that's not really a question that there's ever an answer to. And the thing that it does is it sends you down a rabbit hole of no return. I call it the tar baby. why did this? It's really like, what is possible? That's a question. Oh, cool. Now that I see this, now that I have this awareness, what possibilities could show up that would be fun and playful and easeful, that I could really just, it would be juicy for me to receive. Now that's some energy that's open up rather than, well, Bobby down the road, he started a business, he did this, and this is how he got his millions or whatever, and that's what I'm going to go do now. Is that really honoring of you? I mean, yeah, it's cool to see that and have that awareness of that and get this. So get the energy of Bobby. And is that energy expansive for you? I get a kind of a no. And there's not, Bobby is just a person I threw up out there. But when you're coming from your own personal power, A, nothing can stop you. B, you won't have any interference. C, you can create and call in anything. Pretty cool, huh? And you've been taught the opposite. You've been taught to make yourself wrong. You've been taught to look at what everybody else is doing. You've been taught that I've gotta have the to-do list. Well, what if you could do the to-be list? Not that there's anything, not that there's not things to do, but it's a much more easeful process to read energies of it. And so now I kind of go, oh, do I need to do this? Will this be a contribution to this? No. Okay, cool. Well, I can skip it and go on over here. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to play in that? Are you willing to play in the energy of the power of you? Because there is no other. There is no other you. I think that was like a Dr. Seuss book. There is no greater than you. So anyway, if you are willing to play in points without a point of view, see what that creates for you this week. Toss out that point of view. And a lot of us, the thing that I didn't say yet is sometimes we'll go out in the world and we can contract our energies because we feel like we've been taught this whole lifetime that we have to fit in. You do that when you go out in the world. You do that even when you get up so our energies are really expansive. And I'll include that. It's also on the membership site. So look at the expansion exercise. Do that every single day. And then also ask questions every single day. Focus on your energies you would like your life to be every single day. And are you willing to do that for the next 12 weeks? And what will that create as you go out and about in the world? So when you find yourself contracting when you go out in the world, just expand your energy out. Like you could start with expanding my authentic energy to this room, and I expand it all to my city, and I expand it all to my state, and then the whole United States, and then all the continents, and then the universe, and then the multiverse, and the beyondiverse, and on and on and on and on. And that's in the membership site. You can do expansion with that. When you start to feel contracted, expand out. And then if it seems like you're not, like your body or your being aren't willing to expand out, just say, hey, everything that's not willing to expand here, out. Because those are those energies that can interfere. We've got a lot going on in our body and our being and our biome that we have in our body. And I know they did a study, I guess it was a few years ago, where they found that like a large percentage of our body is really is run by other things. So we're going to be ousting those energies out that aren't contributive. We're going to get you more energetic aware to see what is useful for you in different places. And are you willing to play in that space for you and your place power? Cool. I can't wait to see what shows up for you. And then everything is just an interesting point of view. So if you can go over the next 12 weeks and just say, oh, if somebody's trying to project an expectation, have a projection expectation on you about something, just go, oh, it's just an interesting point of view. Be willing to piss people off and be willing to piss yourself off. And you're probably going to get pissed off at me too, but I'm willing to be the space of your greatest possibility. Are you? Cool. Well, I look forward to this 12-week journey with you. We're going to be doing this class in kind of different ways this time, so bear with me. And if you have any input on that, of what's working for you and what's not, feel free again to email me at carol@carolreinley.com. I think the world of all of you. I can't wait to play more with you over this 12 weeks and beyond, and then also in the Q&As and everything else. So I want you to blow the stuff up that doesn't work for you, clear out that energetic space, and embody more space for you. And as you expand out, you'll just see greater and greater possibilities and more ease, actually. So cool. Thank you for listening to me at week 1 here on Unimaginable Futures. I look forward to next week. You'll get a play sheet that will be connected to the email that I sent out to you. And make sure you do that play work, because the more you do there, the more energies will open, expand for you. I can't do this work for you. I'm just a conduit. You have to choose, and you have to work your own muscles and your own unique brilliance. So go out and do that today and throw out that brain and that point of view. And big love to you all, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.